So, hello everyone, we've returned. Don't worry, if you all haven't gotten back to your seats, we'll ease back into it. So if you have a drink, something to numb on, that's perfectly fine. Enjoy it. We'll warm back up into things as we had maybe a more wholesome fade to black as night had fallen after quite a busy day of being both alive and awake at the same time. And maybe getting a new perspective on life in an area where it's a little slower. There's not the glitz and glamour. There's not all the distractions. It's, you know, kids riding on goats, pretending to be cavalry units. It's, you know, people gathering water by a river. It's a very simple life. A hard life, but it's a simple one that these people have lived by for a great long while, and they might appear as poverty-stricken as people in the city, but they're not unhappy as those who might be in more dire housing or income situations would face. There actually seems to be a wholesomeness, a high quality of life, despite no real tech, not a lot of anything that would be obviously magical. Maybe whatever Lee did to you might have been magical, but it's not like you're seeing people with, you know, wizard hats roaming around, or a bunch of people with holy symbols like, you know, hey, see me if you need a spell. Everything seems to be done by hand. Everything seems to be... It just has that quality to it. But you will awaken in the morning, after a night together, and Lee is already up. In fact, she's not in the hut. She had gone out to go prepare some things for you to take. And there's a knock on the door. She probably inherited from her parents. As far as you know, she seems to live alone. There's been no other family members, and I mean, there's decoration in here, but it's not as full as you've seen the inside of some of these other places. And Zephyr comes in. He has a backpack, and he is in some sturdy clothes. And seems to be ready to go. He tells you that the weather seems mostly favorable. The wind will be a problem, and he looks to both of you and gets some rope out, and he pauses a moment and says, "Whoa, it's for safety. I'm gonna tie you two to each other in case there's an accident. She's missing a foot, and you lost your tail and your sense of balance." Which, I mean, you can walk, but you're still struck every now and again. And you know what? Especially because maybe you're still scared of heights. I don't know. Maybe you forgot you were. Maybe you didn't. But still, if you're a couple hundred feet in the air, falling is probably not the first thing you'd like to do. It would definitely be the last thing that you do.
Right. 'Cause I don't know if I still have my power to fly.
Well, you want to learn how to swim, you got to jump in the water. So let's shove you off a cliff and find out.
Oh, no.
Or not. All right. So he's in here. He's telling you about, about the trip, just about things to look out for. There is some aggressive wildlife, the wind patterns, but there's trails because people have been working on these statues for a long while. So it's not that they're inaccessible. It's just there's not an easy way up. It will take some work to get up and do, but he's done it countless times. And Lee is not going to go with you. It's going to be you two and Zephyr. But she will come back, and she will have a hearty breakfast for you. Lots of eggs and some fresh bits of meat. A lot of garden vegetables that have all been kind of stirred into like a big omelet. And there we go. There we go. He was bugging me to get up here, so I just wanted to lift him up and grant him his wish. Otherwise, he's gonna claw at my leg the whole time. And we have cat butt, so it's an official stream. Congrats, everyone.
Official cat butt.
Yes. But yeah, you are given a great amount of things to eat, and she hands each of you a plate of like maybe hard-boiled eggs, and she says, "Here, eat these. These are going to give you stamina for the day."
I will definitely take part.
Yeah.
Okay. She tells you, they certainly have an interesting taste to them. Selene, give me a medicine roll, please.
Medicine.
Yes, please.
It's about the only thing I've got going for me at the moment. Wow, not even that.
No, it's okay. I'll grant Selene advantage on this. So as you're eating, you know, she goes over the ingredients and she hands you this plate of very like nutrient dense thing, and she said will give you the strength for the day. And she calls them Beak Mountain oysters, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. There's only like a river that flows by here, and she's like, yeah. And Selene, you get the plate, like Mordecai just like popped one in his mouth and is like, nom nom nom, vittles. And you look at him. I mean, maybe you can still eat him if you want. Not that you have to. You're in that weird predicament. But you say, yeah, you know what? Those are testicles.
I'm not gonna turn down food.
My girl, right there. All right.
It's also, I mean, to not put too fine a point on it, it's also not like Selene hasn't had testicles in her mouth before.
Right? She's a culinarian, right? Wink.
Yes. Yes. She has enjoyed all sorts of cuisine.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
Well, no, didn't you know she practiced cooking before? She had a restaurant. It didn't do too well, but apparently everyone always wanted to come, but they never wanted to leave. And so who knows how, you know, it went under, but here we are.
They're delicacies.
Yeah. So yeah, enjoy your Big Mountain oysters, and and let them grant you vigor for your mountain trek.
Yes, vigor. Okay. We're gonna go with that mountain tour now. Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yes, you're going to explore huge tracts of land, and I'm going to take you over to him right now. So you walk through the village once more. A lot of the same. You see the similar people. You see the aged. You see those who have some sort of infirmity, an injury or something. Young and old. You see kids playing and getting into messes. And just all manner of life and smells and colors and everything that happens every day out here. And you're leaving pretty early in the morning. That it's in the distance, but ahead it does look like there are a group of people with some beasts of burden that are going to the mountains as well, probably to continue to work on all the carvings that take place there. So you walk past. You walk past. You walk past. And you walk past. And you make your way out to the mountains. It takes a good part of the morning into the afternoon, and it is kind of chilly still. And hey, today is the longest day. It is summer solstice, the first day of summer. There is still a chill in the air. The mountain is rushing down the mountain and across the open plains. It's not bad, but you know you need some sort of like a cape, and they've given you the appropriate climbing or like the furs that you'd need to stay warm, leather gear to protect you, and whatnot. And before you, after a while, you start seeing everything that they have carved into the mountains. Now, there are a lot of smaller people. In fact, many thousands of smaller people carved into the mountains. Though the Six Landlords is primarily known for just the large ones that are up above here. As you are minuscule and standing before them at the base of the mountain here. But you're seeing all manner of poses and people. You're seeing... It has the feeling of a graveyard. A portion of it. It doesn't look like anyone's buried here. You're not seeing sarcophagi. But there's definitely just... there's something somber. There's something reflective. Especially on all the smaller statues of people that you see here. There's no names, just images. Some of them have chipped, many have broken. Others are water-worn or have dirt or, you know, lichens covering them. But there is a feeling of ancientness. Something that, yeah, they've been doing this for a while, but there's a magnificence or a power to it all. And it's clear that these simple people with their simple tools have been working day after day after day. No government support, no religious support outside, no flood of wealth, no tourists coming in to buy food from them. They've just been doing this every day for a long, long time. And eventually you start your climb, but you can see that there are, six major statues carved into the side of the Beak Mountains. And there's another one that has a waterfall coursing over it, and it looks decrepit, eroded. In fact... Mordecai, make a perception for me, please.
I am not the perception boy.
13? Okay. It definitely stands out against the others, which are bolder in comparison. That they, like, this appears... I don't know if this was the first one, or something happened, there was an accident. But compared to the others, this one is just not the same quality, or I don't know. There's something different. But these are the six, and they are in different poses. They appear to be six different tieflings, judging that they have horns of different shapes. They all have tails. And they're each doing something different. But the climb begins, and for the two of you, it will be tough. Now you're tied to each other, and ultimately you do have a guide. But along the climb, as you take the various paths up, there are times, Selene, when you stumble because your foot is missing. You thought for that briefest of moments you had a foot, and that was almost quite literally your downfall. Mordecai, there's a couple times where you tried to use your tail for balance because you swore it was there, and obviously it's not. And that could have been a misstep. But Selene, even with one foot, was there to save you, or, you know, there to pull you back. And Selene, Mordecai is there to help pull you back from a fall. or to pick you up if you tripped, even if, you know, you wanted to laugh it off or whatever. It's clear you two are still without your magic. You know, you're broken in a couple different ways, at least from who you were before. But you're there, and Zephyr is nothing if patient. And it's not like he's not offering to help either, but you two for sure have each other as you're climbing up this mountain. So you follow the paths, you follow the faces, past serene faces, past wrathful faces, past faces of exuberance and greed and sorrow and such, of all these smaller statues. And the path takes you past each of these until you finally get to the top here. And you begin to make your way over because Zephyr told you that he found you on the one at the end, the furthest one. Presumably that's why you even heard the water. As there's water that pours down from the mountain that feeds a river that passes by where the semi-permanent village is. But you must walk past all of the others. And there's trails that just don't go over their head. I just didn't want to scribble a bunch here because I'd rather show the statues to you. But this trek is giving you time. Time to walk. Time to think. Time to look down on the world from a great height. Atop something that was created by the hands of mortals. Men and women like yourselves. For no other apparent reason than to do it. Or something. I don't know. What are you two feeling in this moment?
Serenity. Understanding of the ways that others look upon their own spirituality and the spirituality of the world. Of those who have come before, preserved forever in stone effigy. Or, not forever, but for a long time. The understanding of permanence and impermanence.
There does appear to be no attempts to repair. You're not finding like what you'd find buildings in the city where there's like cement patched into stone or replacement. Where there's cracks. Where things have crumbled or broken, they've crumbled and broken. Seemingly once all of these have been made, that's it. Mordecai, what are your thoughts?
Much like with the images we saw in the crypt, in that hallway, I may not know who these people are, who they represent, but Mesomask is meant to never forget. And while the carvings may crumble, like the one that's got the river going through it now, the waterfall going through it now, eventually the others will succumb to the whims of the mountain. But so long as they're here, there's a story to tell. And Mordecai, being a storyteller, is interested to know the story.
Ah. There is no lore that you have, at least that has been bestowed upon you or that you've read about in a book. These are known to exist, but no one really knows why the people of the Six Landlords have done this.
No one knows why the creation of Ouijas has been forgotten to time. But somebody told that story to us. Who that was exactly, I'm not sure. And the people of the Six Landlords have a story behind these. It's just a matter of asking what that story is.
You do have a guide.
And I think I will prompt him for the story behind these 6 people.
Zephyr, as you hike along and giving you pause if either of you need to pick each other up, with or without his help, he tells you that while he has been traveling these mountainous paths for a good portion of his life, he doesn't exactly know why. And there's never been a consistent story. This is just something that their people have done, and continue to do. But every time that he walks this path, he thinks about the statues. Sometimes he sees things that he's never seen before. It can add to the story or change a perception that he's had about it. But as you walk along, he'll stop at each, and he doesn't have names for them. And he tells you there really are no names. These are not people that have known to exist. These are feelings. These are concepts, just given form maybe to better understand. And I would like, between the two of you, one of you to roll an insight at advantage, please.
Selene can do that. She has the higher wisdom.
What is it that I am rolling?
Wisdom,
Insight.
or insight at advantage.
That'll teach you to be a wisdom cleric.
21.
I'm a charisma cleric.
21. As the day in the tour goes on, Zephyr gives you the opinion about what the pieces come to represent to him. At least the 6. He's not sure about the 7th, but from the 6th that he goes on to tell a tale, he explains. He can boil down things in concepts here that you can memorize, or you can quantify a little bit better, Selene, and of course share with Mordecai here.
Yeah. And I will do that.
And the stories go on for each of them that Zephyr has put him. He's just he's constructed himself. But Selene, the way that they're translated or come across just with your own sense, this is your interpretation of what everything is coming together as.
Oh. Now this I've heard of.
Forgive my poor handwriting.
And Selene, it's the dots are connecting for her.
And he doesn't really have a story for the last one because it's difficult for Zephyr. There's not a complete picture. It appears to be someone in some sort of either a prayer or maybe a meditative kneel. Hands are upward and sort of cupped together. But a lot of the face has been worn, part of the head. In fact, the one horn that remains seems to be chipped, and the water's run its course and even broken off the tail so that there's only a stump remaining. And he tells you that he found you two in the cupped hands of this old worn statue.
Acceptance. Accepting what happened. Accepting the consequences. And moving forward.
This is a story not unknown to us city folk. We call it the stages of grief.
Mordecai, roll a performance check.
It's pretty bad.
Oh wow.
Pretty bad for me.
I'm sorry, do this at advantage. This is pertinent to recent events. Okay, hey, it's one better.
Oh Jesus!
Not much better.
So I'm not going to give away the shop, but this seems to be. You might have been thinking about something similar. There's a connection somewhere. Especially if Selene is saying that this is a representation of this concept. Now, this concept hasn't been directly expressed, so maybe Zephyr or his people don't exactly know. They haven't quantified what you, the city folk, and Selene have quantified in this way. So he's never addressed it blatantly as such. He's just told a story of, oh, this person looks to be, in surprise, and this person seems to be refusing something, and, going on as he's weaving like a folk tale about it. But there's something. What is it? There's a connection to something that you heard. About grief, or about, if not grieving, what else?
Accepting of one's purpose or something.
The acceptance of finality.
One definitely goes through those stages when grieving something or someone. It wasn't until I met all of you that I actually accepted that Corinna was gone. I was going to run away. Run away from the consequences of what happened, what's denying all of that for so long was going to do to me.
Compared to the other six, this decrepit statue, this crumbling one, with missing tail, broken horn, it's also the most vibrant. It has the most life. While the water has worn it away, has almost literally defaced it, the plant life is abundant. Birds flit about. And there's more life here than there is probably on the other 6 statues combined. And Mordecai, as you tell this tale, out loud to yourself, but to Selene, another word comes to your mind. There is grief. There's also mourning. But not the type that when the sun arrives in the sky again after a long night. And there's something about that word. Make another performance at advantage.
Better.
Yes. Much better.
You remember a brief part of the song that you heard. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but it clearly has been.
The land. She mourns. There might not be much that the land can do to stop these things. And she's sad.
Mired by a plague of doubt. By a plague of what is doubt, of lack of faith.
The lack of people trusting the earth to provide. Or she doubts that we care.
Go to a common man in one of the cities and you ask yourself, do they? But I mean,
I don't
we've met people who've lived off the land. Ben Bartolus and his sons. The people of the Sixth Landlords.
And we've met the very antithesis of them. The Shadowhar are bringing in... I mean, technology is not a bad thing. But the source of it... I don't know that that's 100% a good thing. I don't know.
They take development from places that are not the land. From the depths of hell itself. They take. I suppose there lies the question, Mordecai. Who gives?
Not any of the entities that we've encountered. Not Orlans. Not Mercury. Not Shonaruth. Not Weejas. I think the land has been giving unconditionally. And been taken advantage of. That's what I'm learning here. No one has a story about what was here before the giants or the dragons and the people. There is no story before that. Not that we know anyway.
Does there need to be? I think Mordecai maybe it's time that we give to the land, not to Weejas, to Shonaruth, or to Mercury, or to Orlans, or to anyone else. We have taken. Mind, even the power that we possessed.
I suppose I assumed that that was given to us.
She said at great cost. Those were her words. And what we were giving back, she was ungrateful for. Because it wasn't what she wanted.
Mordecai, roll a religion for me, please.
It's not my strongest suit.
That's fine.
Yo.
There we go. Even a barbarian gets a natural 20 on an Arcana check every once in a while. So, maybe even more appropriately, because this isn't your strong suit, listening to Selene's words, taking your power from her, having been before her, the power you were wielding, it was simply other people's lives that you were taking through Weejas. And here, how much bickering has been done over which application of Weejas' magic is correct. The Reformed Necromancy, the Orthodox Necromancy, the Fundamentalist Necromancy. Weejas clearly answered that she's fine with any of them, because there is no difference at its core. The source of the power is no different. It's just in how you want to disguise its application.
It's the taking of other people's lives and
using them for your own gain.
Purpose. Yep.
That's necromancy at its core. Life is sacred.
And in that, so too is death. We should not be forced to serve in death.
No.
Instead,
allowed to rest.
Not to rest, but to move on from one life to the next. And that inevitably you will be called upon again to live and to die.
And to know.
And to know. And Selene kind of kneels down and places her hand against the stone of the statue. Just
And
seems
Mordecai kneels with her.
Just seems to focus there.
I want to attempt to cast Commune.
Okay.
And the target is the land.
Sure, throw the spell up. Let me see it.
I can pop up the spell
I have
card.
the text, yeah.
Okay.
If I have to, I'll try and attempt to cast it as a ritual.
In this moment, in the cupped hands, which both of your broken bodies were found by sheer luck, that a man had been here in this most verdant part of the mountainside gathering mint and other abundant life at this often forgotten, decrepit, crumbled statue with broken horn and missing tail. In these hands of acceptance, you extend yourself to something. And I'll give you one question that you can ask. As both of you feel a stirring, but between the two of you, you can ask a question.
Do you accept our help in ridding you of this infection?
Yes.
Then we give it freely.
The moment where you two are connected to each other by more than just rope, with your words and your understanding and your emotion, is rocked as there's a loud, sharp crack. Zephyr puts his hands on both of your shoulders. It's crumbling! We must move!
Selene would look back at him and in Abyss will say, have faith in the land that she will provide.
the waterfall, I guess at that moment it just was too much, or it was just right, begins to crack or it begins to flow over the rocks as it continues to crack and split. Large chunks from the already crumbled head come tumbling down, and the hands themselves are giving way as even more of this statue is becoming nothing.
There's a pool of water beneath. I'd imagine there's probably a pool of water beneath us, right?
I mean, yeah, you probably peed yourself a little bit.
I mean actual water, not urine.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. Thank you, Fluffy. But no, there's no reason to move. This is a leap of faith.
Zephyr, we must move now. It's crumbling. Rock falls and he jumps back. I can't help you if you can't help yourselves.
And
Mordecai's gonna sprout his wings.
And Selene will as well.
And attempt to use them as a bit of a shield.
Another rock falls and cracks, knocking a chunk off, and water diverts, spraying almost like a dome of water over the hands where you two were. Zephyr shouts out no as he backs away, slipping but managing to catch himself. And he goes scrambling and climbing away as this final forgotten, not even counted in the 6 landlords, the lords of the land. However, inside this other waterfall as it's coursing over, your wings sprout. They still look ragged, feathers missing, a hole here or there, but they're there.
Are we really not going to move?
No.
Are you talking about blind faith again?
No. Mordecai. Look down.
And when I look down,
When you look down, the hands that were cupped as such crumble and collapse. Rocks go tumbling. A spray of water is everywhere, soaking you through entirely. But on your wings, in the mists, you float. The rocks and the mud spray over you, caking you and coating you in, well, in mud and other earth and filth. The pure waters of the mountain flow, mixing up the mud, washing it away, making room for more. You float down, simultaneously washed and dirtied. Rocks pelt over you, but
I'm
signs
guessing
that
Zephyr.
you're alive and can feel.
And I'm guessing Zephyr is watching from the top like, wait, they're floating?
Zephyr is scrambling down a path somewhere, fleeing the collapsing statue down the paths that he knows, and you're taking the unknown path. And you land in a heap of mud, buried, the weight of the earth pressing upon you. You have each other underneath it all. Water also drenching, pouring, roaring in your ears. Blinding and deafening you. Numbing your senses from the unnatural cold. And then it washes away. And each of you emerge whole. Your wings have no holes. Your tail has been reformed from the clay of the land. The blood of the land, the pure waters, have washed away the dirt, the blood, the pain, the tears.
She said yes.
And the rest of this seventh statue crumbles before you two. Until it's not but water splashing down a rocky mountainside.
She accepted our help.
She accepted the faith that we gave her.
The static feeling fades. You feel refreshed and fulfilled. Selene, there's ever that hunger inside you. Now, whether or not, I don't know if you want to play it off like that's been fulfilled or not. Mordecai, you feel bodily fresh, sated, any thirsts and hunger slated for the moment, as you are made whole. Though Selene, you are not. You're Selene, but you are what you are.
There is not changing that.
Maybe that's just acceptance.
Maybe that's just acceptance. But it would be now that Selene raised two fingers to her temple.
Mm-hmm.
As we sit here in the symbolic tears of the land itself. She reaches her mind out and puts out a call to a certain gnomish wizard. And I'd like to attempt to cast Sending.
Meanwhile, across Mesomasca, you two have been rather busy. It is now officially summer. Congratulations. It's the first day of summer, though it is still a little bit chilly. The orphanage has seen a lot of progress. Norallie, you have continued to rub elbows and seek, seek people to support the institution. Though you can never really shake your reputation for what happened that one time when everyone turned blue. Some see it as a novelty. Others ask you to do it again. But preferably at that group of people. The Church of Ouijas has approached you a couple times. The Skull of Selene has been installed in the orphanage, which is, again, being built. The 6 automatons, and by the way, Derek Raid, welcome everyone. Let's get a shout out to Macabre Derek, who last I saw was drawing a drow, as Derek do. But yes, so things have been quite busy. The church has solicited you a couple different times, you know, saying, hey, we can contribute some more funds here if you want to add in a little bit more. You know, completely optional, but we could put a wing on a library that has religious texts and art if you want.
I mean, if it's a library, she might actually accept that.
Sure. You can have a generous donation of 1,000 gold pieces back for making a religious wing of the library in your orphanarium.
Yeah, because that's not too in the face, and that's something that, you know, the kids could just look up themselves and decide.
Yeah, I actually think having a religious library would be valuable. I mean, it's not like it's unimportant. It's a big deal around here. People need to learn about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bright, you have seen that there are these 6 automatons that have been putting in a lot of work. Mostly it's the heavy lifting and dangerous stuff. They're about the size of a full, like a humanoid. Well, I should say a medium-sized humanoid in our mechanical terms. Well, I guess they are mechanical terms because they're machines. And then if you want to give it a try, you're welcome to. But you can... but there's also this suit known as a JAC, the Joint Articulated Construction Kyberner, that our dear inventor slash contractor slash inventor slash a lot of other things likes to wear, and it makes him bigger, it makes him stronger, and he does a lot of work himself too.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. I have I mean, I have my smooshing hand if I need to lift something heavy, and I mean, we hired you, and we didn't, I mean, you're mostly using these machines for things that people wouldn't be able to do anyway, so it's not like it's putting anyone out of work, but I still don't really like them, so I don't want to ride in one for fun.
Okay, yep. So you turn down the gnomish equivalent of a power loader from Aliens? Gaspard is a little disappointed, because it seems, especially lately, like he's really wanted to try and impress you. But, I don't know, maybe he's just fallen a little flat.
Yeah, that's been known to happen.
But with things proceeding apace, ultimately, over the course of time, you've been doing some research into the Sky Shatter Leviathan. What were the things that you wanted to know about, right?
Yeah, I probably should have posted that in the Discord.
I didn't say it, but I also won't disagree.
I mean, it's okay. I never established who my contacts were.
Well,
Okay.
if we want to, well, I mean, for the context, that could, you know, whatever. But if there's pertinent questions that you had, I can answer those. If you need another week, I think I can buy you some time because I think you're getting an incoming sending. But if you want,
okay.
if you want questions answered, then I can do that.
Well, I'm assuming that things like how do we destroy it is probably too easy.
Yeah, like this would be something that would take you on a more of a let's learn about it that could lead to its destruction, but you're not a blatant, you know, oh, then it's a 1 meter wide exhaust port on its whatever.
What's a meter?
It's a weird archaic, like I don't understand why people don't count in 12s. I mean, a dozen, eat a dozen cookies. You don't eat 10. That's just dumb. We got to measure by what we eat.
That's right. Okay. So the Lethality's just frustrated because he uses an inferior system.
Yeah, right?
Yes, So your scientists use this system. You do not get to call it inferior.
I can and I did. Okay. So yeah, so the first question would be, I suppose, has the Leviathan ever, like, is there anyone who's fought it that survived?
Beyond the obvious answer that there have been skirmishes that Selter has had,
Yeah,
it
besides
is
Seltzer.
it is rare, as the Leviathan just doesn't care. It'll, once it's on the hunt or once it's on the warpath, it destroys the ships that are attacking it. Now some have been able to just evacuate in time, and so yeah, they just flew away. So it's like a runaway, but it goes for, once it's riled into being actively aggressive, it does just that. It'll smack ships down. It absorbs the ghosts that power the airships. In fact, that almost acts like bait on a hook for them, because it really does it. At the same time, firing physical cannons at it does seem to hurt it, which is consistent with aberrations. You can bonk with a stick and they'll take damage, but they don't recognize your magic.
Right, okay. And then the other question that I have... Actually, that was pretty much going to be my second question.
Oh, there you go. You got a freebie then.
So I get a freebie. I bet you couldn't even tell me. Okay. Alright, so... Okay, so you got my second question, though, so I'm gonna have to think about it for a minute.
I knew. There you go, everyone. I duped the divination wizard. My revenge as a DM is complete. Well, if you think of something, let me know. However,
Yeah, just give me a couple of minutes. I'll think of another one.
as it will, at some point in time, though, you're going to receive a message that goes something like what I'm going to prompt lethality to tell you.
Right. Mordecai and I are at the Six Landlords. Meet us there. We need to talk.
You have 9 words left if you want.
You know, she wasn't all she was cracked up to be.
She wasn't all she was cracked up, and then it ends.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, glad you're alive. And I'm not sure I know where the 6 landlords are, but I'll try to find them. And why did she crack up? Did you say something funny?
After months of trying to reach them, you finally got a message from Selene, and they're at the 6 landlords.
Yeah, so, quick question.
Yes.
Do I in character know where the 6 landlords are?
Easy. Even if you didn't, it's easy to find out, because it's like everyone knows about it, just no one goes there because it's a... Why? There's no reason.
Yeah, it's all full of monks and whatever. Who wants to go there?
Yeah, just a bunch of people who carve into the mountain, whatever they keep to themselves. They're kind of loner weirdos, and like they don't do it. They don't really practice magic. They don't have airships. They don't have... They're lucky to have indoor heating. Like, they raise goats and they carve stone. There we go. They're gonna save the world, everyone. They're needed for the war effort.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with goats. They're a lot of fun.
They do kid around.
Selene, we could attempt to go to them.
I'm thinking we meet them halfway.
Well, so it looks like the... I mean, I'll tell Norallie about all this, of course. I mean, Bright's gonna be pretty excited. She's gonna be like, Norallie, 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 Norallie.
Tugging on her.
Yeah.
Except the Wu stepped out, and she'd BRB.
Oh, we had to step out.
Norallie, Norallie. That's why I keep saying it. She's not paying attention. Norallie, 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 Norallie.
She's probably drinking some like super sugary, like
What do you
super
want, kid? Get
sugary
out of here!
caffeine. Yeah, I'm not even gonna call it anything. It's just super sugary caffeine.
Yeah. So...
I'm hobnobbing over here. Come on.
She takes her mint tea with extra sugar.
Okay. So, let me... I mean, while Awu's away, let me think about
Sure.
another Leviathan question. So we know that has Terminator-like focus on its target, and it's immune to magic, but vulnerable to being booped in the nose.
Yes.
And it's probably not immune to Norallie-style magic. It's just that nobody's tested that.
Yes.
And, so I guess the next question would be... Because what I'm thinking in my little brain is that we might not have to defeat it, we might be able to just lure it away. So, my next question would be, of everyone who's fought the Leviathan and has just had a skirmish and has run away, how long did it chase you? And how far? Does it seem like it has a certain boundary it won't cross?
Yeah. It, from the interviews you've conducted over time, you don't have a hard number, but it does seem to tether X amount of miles from the crater.
Okay. So when you say X, is that like how large of a number is X?
Let's say let's say a nice even 12, because 10 is dumb. We've established this.
Yeah, 12 is a lot better number than 10.
Yeah. So it'll only give chase for 12 miles off the coast of the crater. There is one exception, although it's not chase. It has been seen over Uct, almost connecting to an abnormally large tree with some sort of like a tendril.
Oh, that's great news. That's just what I wanted to hear. I mean, kinda.
It's refueling with gnomes.
Well, actually, my thought is that it might be going the other way, like the souls that it collects, because it takes the souls that it steals from the wrecked ships that it destroys, and it might be depositing those in the tree for storage.
Whether ins or outs, it defends the crater out to 12 miles. It doesn't do much in Uct aside from going to a really large goopy tree and connecting to it with some sort of a tendril for a while before it goes back to the crater.
Okay. Now we know when and where to attack it. That's gonna be tough for me. I have trouble with those trees.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate. But I have options now. Okay. Is Awu back?
Yes.
Okay. So Norallie.
Thank you. If you didn't do it, I was gonna.
Yes.
So I got a message from Selene. They're alive by their standards. Yeah, and they're at the 6 landlords.
Oh, that's not too far.
No, we can get there. And Selene said something really funny, and we just laughed. So I really want to find out what it was that Selene said.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I know construction's coming along and it isn't really done yet, but I think we can trust Gaspard to finish it. And I don't know how long we're going to be gone either. Hopefully we'll just be gone for a couple of days. So, I don't know. Do you have like a go bag?
Yes, maybe.
Okay. Well, maybe go get it, or if not, then pack one, and then we can go.
Okay.
I only got the one message, so we're just gonna have to head out, and I don't think it's safe to teleport, so we'll probably have to hire.
Does the river go towards?
That
area?
Not. Like, kind of, for a little bit. You could take the river up here and then cross over land.
Okay.
Like, there's smaller ones, but they're shallow, like, normal boats wouldn't be able to go. So you could either produce or hire ground or air transportation, or at least for a while, river transportation, and then go overground to get out to the mountains in the middle of the countryside.
Well, we have a trade ferry, so we can just hop on that, get to the closest land area, and then.
You can, but it's trading, so you'd have to call it off doing that if you want to take that, or wait until it's back in before it goes back up. So it depends on how in a hurry you are.
Well, I'm in a big hurry. I mean, we have enough money. We can hire a passenger ship to take us, and it doesn't even have to stop. I mean, we can just hop off as it goes by.
Yeah, you want to hire an airship taxi?
Well, not an airship. I mean, a regular ship, or even just horses. Horses would be fine, probably.
I can produce horses.
You can.
Or owls.
Yeah, I mean, can we fly there on owls? Is it close enough?
It would take multiple castings. I will say this, Bright, to Norallie's benefit, she's been better about exploding lately. So there was the one thing that you learned about at the ball, but whoopsie. But her magic has been pretty stable lately.
Well, that's no fun.
You could upset her greatly, and then it'll go off all the time.
So look, if you want me to fireball something, just tell me.
No, is that really the thing? Like, if you get angry, does it get confused or upset or lonely or otherwise unhappy? And if you're happy, it's better?
Broadly, I'll say that in magical researches and whatnot, or just noticing, Norallie's been in at least a better mood. Like, she has stuff to do. She seems to be exuberant about it. She's, like, forthcoming with more things. And she's not burnt the city down or exploded into hiccuping butterflies or farting bubbles or whatever else happens when you're a chaos sorcerer.
Norallie, are you feeling okay? I mean, the chaos was always fun.
Oh, no, I'm doing great. Yeah,
you can always turn it back on if you want. Like, you it's just you don't control that if you're in a particularly dour, bad, lonely, or otherwise super bad mood. But you can always turn it on and let the chaos ride with everything that you do.
So I'm doing better. I got Yori. I've been working on the orphanage, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah,
we got a trading ferry. So after we get the orphanage going, maybe we could buy another ship
Yeah, that'd
and
be
just
nice.
get a whole business started.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Okay, well, as long as you're not exploding, I mean, if we can travel there on owls, that would be the easiest. I mean, I know more than one casting, but as long as it would be just a day or two of travel, it would be okay. You know, there's something we should do, though, just to make it more comfortable. How many owls? It's 8 owls, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So instead of having the owls pick us up by our shoulders and carry us, I think we should rig owl hammocks. And then the owls can pick up the hammocks by the corners and carry us in them. It'll be so much more pleasant.
I could do giant eagles. Which I can summon too.
Are they even better than owls?
Yes, I think. It was 85 speed versus 65 speed. So they're faster.
You want Gaspard to invent a little, like, a carrying coach for you, so they grab it in their talons and...
I mean... Sure, why not?
It might keep the extreme temperatures, rain, and cold off of you, rather than a hammock. I'm not you. I don't know what Bright likes, but...
Well, temperatures don't bother her that much, because she can warm and cool and so on. But, yeah, maybe it could be like a big wicker basket that the eagle could just pick up, and then we can ride inside the wicker basket.
If you want.
I think that would be.
It should be
nice.
like a carriage because it needs 4 seats, so we can bring Selene and Mordecai back with us.
Sure.
So it would be like a carriage. It has like 2 handles for the eagles to grab onto and fly.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Let's, it just so happens that Gaspard was designing something for, an indoor playground, and he looks over at you, Bright, and, like, gives an acknowledging wink, like he's not spoiling anything. For the kids' indoor playground, that is kind of like what you want the 2 eagles to carry. And it's pretty much done. He just needs to put some touches on it.
Yeah, that'd be good. Actually, maybe we could replace this with like a silly slide with a corkscrew in it. That might be more fun for the kids than this giant basket.
Now, Bright, are we actually talking about the kids' playground or your office?
I mean, why not both?
Gotcha.
You know that's what Bright is totally gonna do, like when it's recess. She'll just put on a disguised self and come out and play with kids.
Always the cool kid on the playground, and... but also the bad influence. All the kids are wondering, like, you've been here for 100 years. How do you... What? You have so much more life to live.
Fun is fun.
Alright, so it's convenient then that these plans, or similar to them, had totally been in the works for the kids, wink, and there's something pretty well functional ready to go. It would just take a little bit of extra what would be a good word? Co-fabrication. Bright, if you are willing to co-fabricate along with Gaspard.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay. So between the two of you, you can easily put your day's resources into finishing this sort of ride capsule, this flying wagon thing, and it is ready to go to be carried by 2 magical giant eagles. How many times per day can you summon those? Or how long do they last once you do?
They last an hour each cast. That makes sense. So I think one of them. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times.
Oh, okay, yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, you should have enough castings to get there and get back in between your rests or converting sorcerer points or whatever.
Yeah, that's without sorcerer points.
Okay. All right.
Actually, I could probably do it more if I converted my big spells into sorcery points. So that was just upcasting.
All right. So you have plenty of fuel for the ship, so to speak.
Okay. Well, let's head on out.
All right. Now let's see if they have an 80. That's overland travel.
80 fly speed per 6 seconds.
For the first 6 seconds?
No, that's per 6 seconds. This is round. So that's 480 feet a minute.
Let's see.
Times 60 minutes. They can go 28,800 feet in an hour.
I wish we had a simpler system that just used tens, but oh well, there's no going back now.
I know, right?
I mean, that actually works out to be just 5 miles an hour, which is really, really slow for flying.
What's the...
Over
There's a way to...
over the course of getting there, because there
That's
is
not
always the
including
risk.
Dashing.
Well, yeah, I know there's dashing. Over the course of getting out there, I want you to just roll 5 d20s, and let's see if you get a 1 on any of them to accidentally trigger a magical explosion. Now, you could purposely, if you want to try and go for, like, jet-fueled eagles or something. No? Okay. All right.
I'll roll an explosion for the 3.
If you want.
Why not?
I will always tempt to, like, this is you holding back the gates. I'll always allow you to relent and let the chaos through.
Ooh,
6?
It's a 6.
All
That was
right.
close.
That.
Very.
So yeah, 6. A Modron chosen and controlled by the DM appears in unoccupied space, then disappears after a minute. Okay, so yeah. Let's see. Last time you had a part of a raft. You had the steering wheel sort of come alive. So this time, you have. I guess a part of the a part of your flying carriage sort of animates like a hood ornament, and it just sort of rides on the front and kind of looks around for a little while you're flying through the air.
We probably don't notice it. We're just chilling.
These Modrons are almost just like minions that just sort of randomly pop up. And just... okay. So, expediently, after time taking the Eagle Express, you see the carvings ahead, and, yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like, they're big statues, but they don't do anything. There's really no religious or historical significance that you're aware of, but at least it makes for a very good, sight. And you land You land outside the semi-permanent town of 6 landlords. There's a bunch of kids that are like running underneath the eagle as it's coming in, and it's grasping this sort of carriage on sticks. And
by this time, Selene and I have come down the mountain, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
Boy, with 6 landlords, you'd think one of them could do some upkeep.
Yeah, everything looks like the tents are kind of tattered, and the fences all need mending, and the rocks themselves are kind of looking worn, and that 7th one. Oh, well, I understand why there's only 6, because that's barely a statue, if anything.
Norallie, be sure to lock the basket.
I mean, they can't take... There's no birds. There's no wheels. It's not going anywhere.
Bright didn't suggest it. She told you to do it anyway.
It was just a suggestion. Just a regular kind of suggestion.
Oh, alright. But yeah, like there's a lot of kids on the periphery out in a clear landing area. All the little like tieflings are coming running out, and like one of them's riding on a goat, and there's some adults that are coming out too to see what's going on.
So, hi everyone. So, have you seen a tiefling and a human woman who looks funny?
The tiefling's blue, about this tall.
Human.
You wouldn't. I'm not gonna tell you what I mean by funny looking, because you definitely know it if you met her.
Oh, yeah, sure looking for the blue. They speak in well, you speak Infernal, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I think
Norallie
we all speak Infernal now.
Yeah, the
I
blue
don't.
one, and
Except for Selene.
the human? Oh, maybe.
I think she's technically... She's half elf. She has pointy ears. Not as pointy as mine, but pointy.
Oh, yes. Compared to humans, she's got huge ears. Yeah, we've seen her. But what's it to you two?
Oh, we're good friends of theirs.
Yeah, we're picking them up.
A little kid. How did... You gotta prove that, if we're gonna tell you where they are.
I mean, why else would we know that they're here?
Oh, yeah? If you know about Selene and Mordecai, then you tell us their names. Who are they?
Selene, no last name, Mordecai, Silverleaf.
The kids look at each other. Silverleaf? I don't know. Yeah? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. We didn't know his last name was Silverleaf. We called him Silverhair.
That's weird. His hair is supposed to be... It's like a really dark blue. I don't think he has any
usually
silver.
blue.
Unless he
Oh,
dyed it.
no, it's got a silver streak in it.
Oh.
Oh, a silver streak, yeah.
He is getting old. In like a year.
It's about a year.
Are we hearing the ruckus by this point?
Almost. I want to bait this out a little bit more.
Until one of us gets tired and just falls
So,
but Bright's enjoying it too, so...
yeah, well, yeah, you negotiate the gauntlet of kids and suspicious farmers. You are invited into the open arms / open gate of this place, and to stay here while someone runs into the main village to go get them and bring them out.
I want to pet a goat.
Oh,
And
yeah,
decent.
the kids will take you over to the goat pen, which is really just this big pen that they all play in, but the one corner is more of where the goats hang out.
I pet goat.
Okay. Yeah, so
Just enjoying
there's
my
that.
time.
What would Bright like to do here? I mean, there's lovely piles of filth all around. There's, you know, the kind of a rickety fence. There's some very pungent smells of all varieties coming from everywhere.
Actually, Bright's been spending a lot of time in the city lately, so she's actually pretty happy to just be here.
Oh.
She doesn't necessarily have to pet a goat because Norallie's enjoying those so much, but she'll conjure up Piggy Sue and let her just fly around and just enjoy being a bird, even though this isn't really the habitat for a bird, but she doesn't have to forage or find a safe place to nest.
Yeah.
She just gets to enjoy being in nature a little bit. And same
Yeah.
with Bright. She'll just look around and, you know, if there's ground squirrels or little birds or something, she'll just try to make friends.
Yeah, there's a beetle crawling over a pile of poop.
I mean, if it's a really friendly beetle, then that would do.
He just looks at you and says, it's a living.
Okay.
Peggy Sue's having fun negotiating the downdrafts of the mountain wind. But you know what? It's a challenge that she's up
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, Peggy Sue, stay to the windward side of the mountains, not the leeward side. It's safer. That's where the updrafts are, not the downdrafts.
Speaking of the leeward side, meanwhile, across the village, we come to there's a kid who comes over and is shouting, Lee! There's people who came down in a carriage on eagles. They said they're friends with Mordecai. Well, they said Silverleaf, but I say Silverhair.
That's quite a segue, by the way. I'm very proud.
I mean, I don't know if you caught on to the naming convention, but it works. But yeah, so Lee was informed by very quick-running children that there's someone there, and of course she's going to come in and talk to you two. Now, this would be more towards the evening. Like, it's still going to take them some hours to cross over, and in hours for you to get back, but you could have come back and gotten some warm tea or, you know, changed, because you're still in your mountain, like, you're just leathers and everything, and...
Yeah, we'll probably be changing into our gear.
Into our gear.
But yeah, she looks at you. You were supposed to receive someone?
Yeah, we...
Yes.
Right, Nora and I are here already?
Yes, and apparently they arrived via a large bird in a carriage without wheels.
That sounds about right.
That sounds like something that they would do.
Yeah, it does. Well, let's go meet up with them.
Yeah, let's get changed and meet up.
All right. So you two, I mean, Lee is just standing there while you're changing, like, 'cause to her that's no big deal. If you want to ask her to turn around, that's fine, but she's not used to that being a thing.
Selene doesn't go.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, she stays and is just, like, making talk or whatever.
Mordecai is a city boy. He's kind of modest.
Kind of turns around, like,
Selene's
slides
just-
in, get your tail wrapped around you.
Selene's literally not covering anything, just getting her armor on and not thinking anything of it.
Mordecai's tail's kind of wagging back and forth. Glad to have it back.
Yeah.
Those few days sucked.
He's tripping over his feet. He had 2 left feet.
So you all are getting ready to leave Lee's yurt. And
Oh, it's these 2.
not just 2.
Oh.
So if you remember your dear not-so-friends, Trade, I was about to say aioli, but that's a sauce.
Aeolian.
Alien, yes. And Doldrum. There's a small posse that is meeting you. It technically would be more at the base of the steps coming down from here. And there's a couple others that I don't have face tokens for, but anyway. You have Trade, Doldrum, and Aeolian, who... Stop! Did you hear what happened at the mountains? I told you, they were bad luck. They brought the mountain down. They destroyed the shaken carvings. And Trade's eyes are very much just that vibrant, super like highlighter fluid color.
We did no such thing, friend.
You went up there with Zephyr. Why didn't Zephyr come back down? And you two did.
He went off without us.
Zephyr knows those mountains like the tip of his tail. You killed him. You destroyed something sacred to us. And the others are, you know, yeah, in the background. And now look. You brought outsiders to our village.
They actually happen to be our ride out of here. But before any of that, she looks to the 2 behind Trade.
Mm-hmm.
Are you so quick to truly believe such a biased opinion? Truly?
There's nothing to believe. We've seen it with our eyes.
Yes, but have you felt it? Do you know what that means? Do you know what happened up on that mountain?
You went
Because I
up,
would
it
be
collapsed. You came down,
I would-
Zephyr missing. It was you. You
I would
killed
be-
him and destroyed our mountain, just like Trade said. She's interrupting you, as am I, but...
Just like Trade said. And yet Trade was not up on that mountain. Trade didn't know what went on. No, Trade is making some assumptions. Isn't that right, Trade? Because you would like so badly to believe that Mordecai and myself are the bad guys. But allow me to
Are
share...
you translating this, Mordecai, by the way? Real
yes.
quick, but okay.
So allow me to share with you what went on that mountain. We went up there with Zephyr, and he told us the stories of the landlords, the stories that he knows. And when we reached the last one, on its knees with its hands cupped and arms outstretched, where we were found, we had found something that was missing. The land she mourns as unlike you and your people here. Most city folk do not give to the land. They take and take and take until very little remains. But in that moment, our faith found wavering and wanting. Mordecai and I reached out to her. We offered her our assistance. She accepted, and as the water became heavier, the land cried that someone would accept to give to her. That one would give when so many have taken. Zephyr was afraid of what was going on. He scrambled back up out of the statue and disappeared out of sight. And as we were washed away by the water, the tears of the land itself, with faith renewed, we found ourselves reborn.
Are you adding anything, Mordecai, or are you letting her words also speak for you?
I'm not really changing anything that Selene is saying, except to say that she cried and we answered her.
The land enters you, outsiders, worshippers of the lady. Patui, he spits on the ground.
Not anymore. We looked into the eyes of the Lady of Death and we found naught but unworthiness.
Another being that would take and take and take until there was nothing left.
Trades are leaving anyways. Just let us pass. They'll be gone.
We go to answer her call.
They, the small crowd is absolutely staring daggers, into you two, but they step aside to let you pass.
You would be wise to listen to her call. She cries for help. Don't be ignorant.
Not like we were.
And they stand there and sneer as you pass. You all make your way through the village. One second here. Well, I don't have the one thing that I didn't load it in. But anyway, so you start walking walking through, guided by Lee. And the mood is kind of tense, with uncertainty. I mean, people look at you as they had before, but there's, I don't know, you look at them and their eyes shift away. I mean, Mordecai, you're more used to following the pupils, quote unquote, of tieflings, but there's just sort of a, like, you could tell it in their tails and the way that they carry. There's definitely a tension, maybe a growing suspicion of something's not right. And as you walk past here, you encounter Gale. Well, I could hear those footsteps anywhere, and congratulations, Selene, on your 2 feet.
Thank you, Gale.
Don't thank me for that. And he urges you to get in closer.
And you will come in closer.
You would do well to expedite your leaving, or otherwise try to plan some kind of a shaving of face. I was down by the wash, like the creek that runs down from the waterfalls and everything in the mountain, with and he'll name some villagers. It would seem that Jeffer's body had washed down the river, broken. He's dead.
Oh.
I asked the other villagers, especially with the tensions, to not report it right away, as that would, I believe, be a torch to a very flammable situation. This news, though, cannot stay from the others for long. How you wish to resolve it is yours, but I'm telling you this now so you can think about what you want to do.
Is there nothing anyone can do for him?
From how he was described, no.
That is such a shame. He was a good man, even though I knew very little of him.
He was very welcoming. I wish there was something we could do.
I think, for now, we need to leave these people be. Such a shame. And Selene shakes her head, and I mean, Gale would very obviously be able to see that there is actual upset there.
He can't see it, but he does.
He'd sense it.
Potentially sense it.
Yeah.
Do you not have the ability to speak with
yes?
Yes, we will be. We have called for friends to come and retrieve us.
Oh, were you saying something, Coffee? I'm sorry.
Oh, Mordecai was just asking Selene, you don't have the ability to speak with dead today, do you?
I do. If his jaw is intact. The one thing that I can provide before we leave is how he died. I have the ability to query the souls of the dead.
I believe that how he had died was obvious. Would it not be best to leave the dead to rest? Asks Gale. Like, neutrally. He's not making an assertion or necessarily implying anything.
Yeah, there's nothing more we can learn from him than
He should rest.
move on.
It's your call.
Yes, he should rest. But please pass along our condolences to his family. And that his death is not in vain.
Lee is rather distraught at the news and is wiping away some tears. He was such an excellent mountaineer, one of our best gatherers. Gale kind of reaches out to put a shoulder around. Before you two go then, says Gale. These were on him, and I believe that these were meant to be given to you, as are given to all who's made their first path across the landlords. And he reaches into a pocket and he grabs two little, kind of crudely carved little wooden like necklaces, and one of them is of kind of a Selene-like figure. It doesn't have a foot, and it has some generous proportions to it, and it's on a little leather strap. And there's one that's of you, Mordecai, that doesn't have a tail and has a broken horn, and it also is on a little leather strap. Little tokens like these are given to those who've made the trip their first time. I believe that he had carved these for you to give them to you in celebration of you visiting and completing your pilgrimage. I, if you'll pardon me, took the liberty to ask the villagers to retrieve this from him, from his body.
Thank you.
It's thoughtful.
These are things that we will treasure for the rest of our days.
Mordecai puts the one of him around his neck.
And Selene will do the same with us.
Mechanically, these are holy symbols. Then you best get going, as I imagine the news of his death is only going to rile those who are against you.
Yes.
Take care.
Yes. Please take care.
I shall, and who knows, maybe you'll see me in the city. I've been there once or twice before. Lee?
Look forward to it.
See them on their way, and that they reach their friends safely. She nods. And you walk past the huts that are on the periphery. One or two, again, are lived in. Others had been, but are just sort of decomposing on their stone stages. And you finally get to the goat herd at the end of town. And wouldn't you know, Norallie is off in the distance chasing goats in circles, and Bright is staring at a pile of poop, possibly talking to it.
How very them.
I know, right?
How very them indeed.
Lee stops at the gates that are open like outstretched hands. It is here that will part. I'm a little confused and taken aback at the things that have happened, but I'm sure that it means something. I'll think upon it. It was nice to be your friend, and I didn't really mind wiping your ashes.
thank you for all the care that you've given us, Lee.
It's much appreciated.
Okay, well. And inside this goat pen, in the middle of nowhere, you're together.
Mordecai just kind of runs up to Norallie and just gives her a big hug.
Too late because she flies at you with her boots and gives you a big hug.
You both explode in glitter.
And Selene kind of just looks at Bright, and she's just like, she opens her arms. Get over here.
Okay. Hug time.
Yes.
Big old
It's
group
hug
hug.
time.
Big old group hug.
Yep.
Here's
So-
the hugs.
You all hug it out.
Hugging it out.
Oh, you
Right.
are doing great.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, it's been a wild ride. Bright,
Hi.
Christ. Gotcha.
you were right.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. But about what?
Oh, we Jess.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been. I would have rather been wrong about that, but I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you, and I'm sorry to you. By which I mean Selene.
But I think that's okay. Because where a hole was left, something better take its place.
I don't know what to make of that.
I don't know what to make of it either.
We
But
don't worship Ouijas any longer.
Oh.
Well, that's gonna be fun when we all get home.
So,
I mean, to be
let
fair,
me tell
we
you
didn't
about
put
the
too much in,
orphanage.
so
oh,
Yeah. So,
how long have we been gone?
like almost a year, not a full year, but like
So
most
I'm
of the year.
33 now.
Depends on when your birthday is.
yeah. And
Spring.
whether you go by chronological age or experiential age. Or
Experience.
biological age. Because for me, they're all different. It's great.
Yeah, gnomes have modal ages. It's weird. It's a cultural thing.
I'm gonna be 20 next month.
No, it's not. It's not a cultural thing. It's a result of going to literal hell.
It's a result of me having been reconstituted with slightly different biological age after having been undead for however many millennia.
I look like I'm 45 now, so.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Norallie and Bright, there's that.
You see
Yeah,
little crow's
no,
feet on his corner of his eyes.
Yeah, I was just
Nice.
about to ask, what do Mordecai and Selene look like now? Because I lost track. I know Mordecai looks older, but does he have a tail now, or did it grow back? And what about Selene? Is she's got her foot back?
Yep.
Okay, so I
No,
can't even
no.
comment on it because I wouldn't have even known. Okay.
Wait, is the tail the same color?
Yes.
Done.
So, Selene, if you don't follow Ouijas anymore, how is that even possible for you? I mean, you were the chosen one. You were. She chose you to be the gate of souls. How can you turn away from that? How is that even possible? And how are you even alive? I mean, your skull is hanging in the Orphanarium.
That was gonna be a thing, regardless of whether or not we saw her skull ever again.
That's a.
Oh yeah, we have an orphanarium now. Well, we're still building,
Yeah, it's under
but it's almost
construction.
done.
It's coming along really nice. You should see the playground.
We also have a trade ship.
Yeah.
Well, like a
Right.
river ferry.
Well, I'm
That's trading.
going
So much
to.
to catch up on.
I'm going to want my skull back. but we'll we'll talk on the way back.
Can you bend over for just a minute, Selene?
Okay, and she does.
Okay, Bright feels her head to see if it's all squishy or if it's solid. Seems like your skull is, I mean...
She's borrowing Corinna's skull, remember?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you can have the skull back, because I didn't really want it, but you're probably going to have to talk to the Church of Redress, because they gave us money to put it there. We didn't put too much, because I don't really...
Maybe
I'm
we
not
can
really
switch
too fun.
Selene looks to Mordecai. Maybe we can switcheroo it with...
How?
I mean...
I don't know, there's gotta be some magic that makes that work.
I mean, you're the doctor in the group. I don't think I can do that surgery. I'm not very good at medicine.
Transplant somebody's head like that.
Well, technically this flesh isn't super corporeal, you know?
I don't
know, I think if we split your skull open, it's still gonna hurt.
I'm a little bit leery to do experimental stuff. I don't want... I told you, you're not going anywhere until we get rid of Shonaruth. If you do, we will have words in the afterlife. And I will be angry at you. Again.
I mean, I will tell you, I'm not planning on going anywhere.
Good.
But I would like my skull back. And
I
I mean,
mean, you just
besides
talk to the church about it.
Mordecai, and besides Mordecai, she leans over and whispers something into his ear that I can't repeat because it would definitely break the PG-13 the PG-13 barrier.
PM me and I will respond appropriately.
So Mordecai, if Selene is borrowing Corinna's body parts, does that count as a threesome for you?
For golf. What are you blushing about? Clearly, it's a golf reference.
Yeah. For golf.
We're going home, right? We're going back to Oldport, right? Let's go.
Right. That's a question I'd never asked before. Thank you.
Okay, now let's all get bundled up for a long ride in a small closed container.
Yes.
All right. Norallie, can I get 5 more D20 rolls, please?
Sure.
So how exactly are you all building an orphanarium?
Oh, we used the treasure that we found in the
I got 2 nat 20s on that.
All right.
You mean like
You
that?
have
The
super
massive
control over
amount
your
of
magic.
gold?
Yeah, we used the treasure that we dug out of the catacombs, and we hired Gaspard to be our architect.
Oh, and I got Yuri back.
Yeah, Gaspard. You know, your friend Gaspard.
How's he doing?
He's doing okay. He's not gonna be expecting you. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Oh, we should have told them.
I wanted it to be a surprise. Or possibly find out from Mordecai if it should not be a surprise.
Well, to be quite honest, I was half expecting to land in my mother's house when we came out of that place, because I was thinking of home.
Well, you're pretty close to home. I mean, it's better than landing in the Shadowheart Empire.
That's true. That is true. I don't think I could have handled that again.
You also could have ended up like a different part of the island.
I would have leveled
You could've
every
ended up, like,
last
2
little
days
bit
away.
of that empire.
Traveling without exploding. So, hooray, Mordecai and Selene. You see that every time Norallie casts those giant eagles, things didn't go wacky.
I thought
Yeah, Noralie's gotten much better at not blowing herself up. Except for
I
that
thought-
one time when everything turned blue. That was so funny.
I wasn't even casting. I just sneezed.
I thought that was something that you were struggling with often when you were casting.
Um,
Not
Yeah,
a problem
it's-
anymore?
I mean, it still happens. It's just not as bad.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
When did that start happening?
Well, I don't know. Sometime after we started building the Orphanarium.
Hmm.
Oh, I need to tell Salter that you guys are okay. And by I need to, I mean, right? Can you tell Salter that they're okay?
Yeah, I'll totally tell Selter that. So I'll send a sending to Selter, and the message is they're okay.
Well, you specify because Cypher isn't, and she was more concerned about Cypher.
Well, you haven't seen Cypher yet.
No.
He's
No.
we haven't been able to find him. Except for right after he left, when Norallie went back into the ethereal plane to see if we could call him back, and he went into the tentacles, and I think he's probably dead. Or maybe he's been turned into a giant eldritch abomination. One of the two. Or he could be okay. That's also a possibility. I mean, there's no reason to close off hope just yet.
Ideally, he'd be okay.
Yeah. So would really like if he's
I mean, you two are okay, and I mean, you'll have to tell us all about what happened. But you seem to have come through it okay. I mean, considering you were disintegrated at all, you're looking pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a promise to fulfill. Selene. We made it out.
We did.
And this is me being ballsy and actually striking up the courage again.
Yes, Mordecai.
I need a jewelry store.
Oh, well, there's
We-
one in Old Port.
We need a jewelry store.
Very well then. So the news while you're flying is out there that a jewelry store is needed. There are several. There are more than several in Old Port.
Actually, yeah, we're gonna need to let it Old Port first.
Yeah, I think we're gonna break here for the week, and we'll return with the crew back together, sort of normalizing things amongst each other, and whatever continuing apace. So
Okay.
we are going to everyone stick around. We are going to go from fantasy with different elements of other genres thrown in over to not steampunk, cyberpunk. As we're going to go raid VexFX, who is currently programming his own cyberpunk game that for everyone in his community he'll give to for free when it's done. And if you have ideas, if you're like, oh, this would be cool if, or oh, have you tried this color or whatever, he listens to feedback. And you can leave your thumbprint on the game, so to speak. And really, he's just an awesome dude to hang out with and talk to. So follow me, if you will, over to Raid Vex. And yeah, we'll continue the fun. And don't forget Gathering of Nerds. Let me give a quick shout out, because in an hour-ish or two, you're going to go live. Right? I think so. All right. Watch for that signal flare on our Discord, !Discord to join. Thank you all very much. I hope that you enjoyed this week's session. And I guess we're going to do it again for episode 121 this coming Tuesday. So, bye all.